Hey everybody, and welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be tackling something that can be a real brain twister.
Yeah.
Even for native English speakers.
Yeah.
Tongue twisters.
I love tongue twisters.
They're so fun.
They're really fun, and they're a fantastic way to kind of get better at pronouncing English words and phrases.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're new to the language.
Yeah, so we're going to break down why they're so tricky.
Right.
And give you some tips on how to conquer them.
Yeah. It's like a fun workout for your tongue.
It is.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like weightlifting, but for your pronunciation muscles.
Okay, so first things first.
Yeah.
What exactly are tongue twisters?
Tongue twisters are these phrases that are super difficult to say quickly.
Yes.
Because they use a lot of similar sounds.
Right, like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Yes.
Repeating that P sound over and over again.
Yes.
Or busy as a bee.
Right.
With that B sound.
Precisely, and those repeated sounds.
Yes.
Create a sort of feedback loop in our brain.
Yes.
When we try to say them, which is what makes them so difficult to kind of get out smoothly.
Like your tongue gets tripped up.
Yeah.
Trying to switch between those similar sounds so rapidly.
It does, and another common trick that tongue twisters use is assonance.
Okay.
Now, assonance is similar to alliteration, but it focuses on repeating the vowel sounds within words.
Okay, so instead of at the beginning of the word,
yeah,
it's the same vowel sound in the middle of words.
Precisely.
Like unique New York.
Unique New York.
With a oop sound.
Exactly, and these repeated vowel sounds create a kind of internal rhyme scheme.
Oh.
Almost making the phrase feel like it's tripping over itself.
Interesting.
But repetition isn't the only weapon in a tongue twister's arsenal.
Hey, spill the beans. What else makes these things so tricky?
English has these things called consonant clusters, which are basically groups of consonants that are together in a word.
Yes.
And some combinations, especially for those new to English, can be really awkward to pronounce.
So it's not just about the individual sound,
right,
but it's about how they work together, or maybe how they don't work together.
Exactly.
When they're right next to each other.
For example, let's take she sells seashells by the seashore.
Okay.
Notice that sh and that sound right next to each other.
Right.
Not easy to say quickly,
no.
and it gets even more interesting when you look at tongue twisters that use different versions of the same consonant sound.
Okay.
Take thin, grippy, thick, slippery.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It plays with two different sounds, one voice like in this and one unvoiced like in thing.
Yeah.
And that subtle difference can be a real pronunciation hurdle.
So for somebody new to English, even though those might sound similar, paying attention to that little difference can really make a difference in sounding more natural.
You got it. And mastering those subtleties
Yeah.
is exactly what tongue twisters can help with.
It's amazing how much complexity there is.
Yeah.
In something that seems as simple as a silly phrase.
Absolutely. And honestly, that complexity is part of what makes them so valuable. They're not just for fun.
Right.
Although they definitely are fun.
Oh, for sure. I mean, who doesn't love a good laugh?
Yeah.
At their own expense.
Yeah.
When they're trying to get through
Yeah.
how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Yeah, exactly.
But it sounds like there's more to it than just laughs.
Definitely, tongue twisters have been used for centuries in different cultures as a form of entertainment,
Right.
storytelling, and even language learning.
Oh, wow.
Think of them as a playful way to practice pronunciation and build fluency.
That makes sense. It's like sneaking in a workout while you're having fun.
Exactly.
But what about the cognitive benefits? I've heard they can help with memory and brain power, too. Is there any truth to that?
There is. Research suggests that practicing tongue twisters can enhance cognitive flexibility, which is your brain's ability to switch between tasks and adapt to new situations. It's like mental gymnastics, helping your brain stay agile and sharp.
So it's not just about sounding good.
Right.
It's about keeping our brains in tip-top shape.
Exactly.
That's a win-win.
And that brings us to another fascinating aspect of tongue twisters.
Their
application in fields like speech therapy and actor training.
Wow, I never considered that. Tell me more.
Well, speech therapists often use tongue twisters to help individuals improve articulation and overcome speech impediments.
Oh, wow.
They're like targeted exercises for specific sounds or muscle movements.
So it's not just for language learners then?
Right.
It's for people who want to refine their pronunciation.
Yeah.
Or work through specific speech challenges they have.
And actors use them to warm up their vocal cords and practice clear diction, ensuring that their lines are delivered with precision and impact.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So tongue twisters really are multi-talented little phrases.
They are.
They entertain.
Yes.
They educate.
Yes.
And they even have therapeutic and professional applications.
And let's not forget the sheer joy and laughter they create.
For sure.
Remember, learning a language should be fun.
Absolutely.
And tongue twisters remind us to embrace that playful side.
Speaking of fun,
yeah,
I think it's time to put our tongues to the test.
I agree.
What do you say we challenge our listeners to try a few?
I'm all for it.
All right.
Let's give them a chance to experience the delightful frustration of a good tongue twister firsthand.
Yes, love it.
Ready, listener?
Yes.
Here's your chance to shine.
All right, everyone, if you're game, find a quiet spot, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Let's see what you can do.
Take your time.
Remember, start slow.
Yeah.
Focus on each sound.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to laugh at yourself.
And don't worry if you stumble. It's all part of the process.
Exactly.
In fact, I encourage you to record yourself.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's a fantastic way to pinpoint where you might be tripping up and track your progress.
Right.
Plus, it can be hilarious to listen back to your early attempts.
It's a good reminder that learning a language is a journey.
It is.
And it's okay to have some fun along the way.
Absolutely. So embrace the challenge.
Yeah.
Have a good laugh.
Yeah.
And let those tongues fly.
I love that.
Now, as we wrap up our deep dive into tongue twisters, let's circle back to some of the key takeaways about tongue twisters.
Okay.
First and foremost, they're incredibly useful for practicing pronunciation.
Yes, they are.
Whether you're learning English as a second language or just want to fine-tune your speech, tongue twisters can target those tricky sounds and muscle movements.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, they force you to pay close attention to the subtle nuances of English sounds and train your mouth to produce those sounds accurately. Yeah. Like a precision workout for your speech muscles.
It is. And we can't forget the cognitive benefits.
Right.
Like improved memory and enhanced cognitive flexibility. It's like a brain boost wrapped in a fun package.
They challenge our brains to adapt, switch gears, and stay sharp.
And let's not underestimate the sheer enjoyment factor.
Oh, yeah.
Tongue twisters are inherently playful and entertaining.
Right.
Which makes the learning process so much more enjoyable.
When we're having fun, we're more receptive to new information and more likely to retain it.
Like tricking our brains into learning.
Exactly.
By making it a game.
It is.
If learning feels like a chore, it's easy to lose motivation.
Right.
But when it's fun, it becomes something we look forward to.
Absolutely, yeah. And so even if you find yourself getting tongue-tied, just embrace it.
For sure.
That's all part of the fun.
Absolutely.
And here's something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Even native English speakers stumble on tongue twisters.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen seasoned news anchors completely lose it on live television.
Yeah.
Trying to get through a tricky tongue twister.
It's a humbling reminder that language is always evolving.
It is.
And there's always something new to learn and enjoy, no matter how fluent we are.
It keeps us on our toes.
Yeah.
And reminds us that even the most familiar things can still surprise us.
Absolutely.
So to all our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring the world of tongue twisters.
Please do.
There's a whole universe of them out there just waiting to be discovered.
You can find tons of them online, or even create your own.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Think of it as a fun linguistic puzzle.
Yeah.
A way to play with words and sounds.
And who knows, maybe you'll uncover that hidden talent for twisting your tongue into knots.
Speaking of knots,
yes.
How about we leave our listeners with a final challenge?
I'm game. What do you have in mind?
Let's go with a classic.
Okay.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Ooh, that's a good one.
See if you can say it 10 times fast without tripping up.
It gets you every time.
It does.
Good luck, everyone. And remember, it's all about having fun with language.
Happy twisting!
That's all for today's deep dive into the wonderful world of tongue twisters. Until next time, keep those tongues limber and those brains engaged.